Joe, it's been a minute, man. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. What's going on with this dog? You got a
I don't know.
a Rottweiler out there?
Well, I have a few less trees in the front yard, so maybe that means it's more inviting for dogs to be running around. I don't know.
Well, maybe it's always been there, and you're just now seeing it.
Yeah, maybe the trees that that used to be there blocked me seeing the. I don't know. It's running around. I don't know. It has a collar on it, so I'm sure somebody's looking for it.
I was chuckling because as we were going live, basically you were yelling, "Hey Chelsea, there's a dog out there," and in my mind I was like, "Yeah, you're on your own. I got my little show with Adam to take care of."
Yes. I got things to do.
Yeah, I got some coffee to drink with Adam. I hope it goes well with the Weimaraner out there. You know,
it is a big dog. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Okay, man.
What's up, man? I mean, and speaking of coffee, so for Chelsea's birthday a few weeks ago, I got this this espresso machine.
Right. I remember you were saying, yeah.
It's one of these things where you put I didn't get the the automatic thing, but it's one of these things. It's like, you got to put the thing in. It's like an actual thing where a barista would use and everything.
Yeah.
So you put it in the thing and you tamp it and you put it in there and whatever. It's so good. It's really, really good.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I feel like it was more of a gift to myself.
I was just about to ask, like, among us, among us hens here, who was this gift really for?
It was for her. The intention was for her, but I think that I am using it more than she is at this point because it's delicious.
I noticed if an academic says intention, there's going to be an explanation here that smells a little bit of a certain barnyard funk.
It's funny that you think of me as an academic too. I don't think of myself as.
It's the whole reason I got you here, Joe. Don't smash the.
No, I'm not an academic.
But
I'm a savage. That's the T-shirt I got on. Savage.
Yeah, I got you.
See, I don't even use the right words. I said T-shirt and not hoodie.
Yeah.
See, I don't even know what I'm talking about. What about you? Do you know what you're talking about?
No, that's the whole point of my whole brand is I don't know. I'm just learning. I'm here just to soak it all in, man. I claim nothing. Hey, so
properroyals. We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, properroyals. We're just bumbling through life together, and we'll make a little video along the way.
That's the spin. That's a good spin.
Well, on that, so my one thing is that I thought we should start a little workshopping, and maybe pull the curtain back and get a little crowdsource workshopping as well. So 2 weeks ago on a show I thought was pretty good, you and I did, somebody left in the comments, "Is this a reptile show?" And I was like, all right, this guy's just being a jerk, and but I always do like reply. I give people the benefit of the doubt. And I said, well, Joe doesn't have reptiles. I do. We kind of figure things out and learn about each other and business. And Joe has this background in this and I do this. And then somebody else commented as a reply to the original question, is this a reptile show? Not usually. And I was like, okay. And then the original guy that made the comment wrote, "Oh, another one of those," and like an eye roll or something. And I'm not saying we should change who we are or our concept, but maybe I forget that maybe we could get new viewers sometimes, and maybe they might not know what the hell's going on at 6:30 Central Time every Thursday morning. So I was thinking that we need to workshop like a tagline to give a little bit of context. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
Okay.
welcome to Proper Cup of Joe, where I have reptiles and you don't, or something, and then you're like, yeah, where I do this but you don't, or some, I don't know. I think we got to workshop this and figure this out.
Okay. Okay.
Look, because like we've got our little circle of friends and they support us, and I'm thankful for that. And we have grown. The show does pretty well, but you know, new eyes and new faces that we'll never see, but new comments and chat and interaction is always good.
So wait, so the original commenter said, "Oh, just one of those shows."
Right. Yeah. And yeah.
Are there other shows that are like this?
No, I think, and I say it was a he because women are way smarter than men. They don't get into this nonsense. Like they don't, you know. So I'm not saying the show is nonsense. I'm saying the petty, you know, women will just come talk to you is what I'm saying. But the guy, you know, they got a needle and, you know, be a little macho. So the guy says, another one of those. No, there's the perception of like reptile shows that are just dudes like hanging out and you know, and some of them, and actually part of my inspiration initially of doing Proper Royals Live on Tuesday nights was when I looked around the industry at content at the time 3 years ago, there was really only one or two people doing really reptile focused stuff. And the rest of the people were like drunk and high dudes feeding live rats to their snakes and calling it a podcast for, you know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, so that's what he's referring to, which we're not drunk nor high, which would be more fun at 6:30 in the morning, but we're not. I
also have things to do later in the day.
Right. We do. Yeah. That's the other part. We do go out to live productive, fruitful lives, I think, or at least we try to. Yeah. See, Troy gets it. And like, I think our audience gets it, the people that have seen it, but the people that haven't seen it and give it a shot, because, you know, I work a lot on SEO and the keywords and the tags, and we got to get the eyeballs here. And so I figured that I thought maybe we could workshop this a little bit. So first audience, if you're watching it live, you could chime in with some taglines. But if you're watching the replay as well, leave some comments or message me or give me some ideas, because I really do think we need like a hook where somebody goes, "Oh, that's a little bit different. That's a little intriguing." Like what's the great like corporate workshop thing? What is our why? We have to get back to why. And then
what's our value proposition, you know?
That is the question. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff, man.
And this is why you're good at this, Adam, because I would see that comment and go, "Oh my gosh, what are we doing?" and
that one dude in like, Boise doesn't like us. What are we doing? We're done. We're hanging it up.
So you're a little bit, and I can tell you're a little bit peeved by it.
Oh, well, there's a little annoyance, but go ahead.
But the other thing though is that you actually take it in and you go, okay, well, maybe that's this person is talking about something that even I noticed at the beginning of my venture into this industry, and maybe he's got something there. And so maybe we should adjust and go and come up with this tagline: "Welcome to Proper Cup Joe, where I don't have reptiles and he does."
Yeah, something like that. Even that little thing there. Yeah. Oh, and we could switch off whoever, where I have reptiles.
Yeah. Whoever starts the show.
Doesn't. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. What do we see?
Well, Tyler says you have to get one.
Now I'm getting to the point where I don't think that I should get a snake.
Well, but then we'd just be just another reptile show. No. Yeah, you can't get it. No, when you signed up for this show, you're the non-reptile guy. That's paragraph 1, line A. Okay.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, that's
so. I mean, Troy's setting a real high bar for us of corporate Zoom meetings. All right, so we're at least welcome to Proper Cup of Joe, where we're more entertaining than your corporate Zoom meeting.
Slightly more entertaining than a corporate Zoom call. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, so we got to work on this, please. Yes, in the chat, if you're like, give us. What do you think? Well, let's workshop this a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go. And then welcome to Proper Cup of Joe, blank. The cup isn't full with reptiles, but his is, or whatever. I don't know. That was really bad.
Yeah.
But that's
no bad ideas in a workshop. Yeah. No bad ideas in a workshop.
Right.
You fling the spaghetti upon the wall and you see how it goes. All right.
I'm watching because of the difference. See, that's nice. See?
Yeah.
That's good.
I think once people understand the framework, then it makes a little bit of sense. Like, so this other guy, Chris, I think it's a real tongue-in-cheek title, but it's really engaging. He has a show called, and there are 2 pictures. He has a show called My One Black Friend, My One White Friend. And it's a black and white guy, that have known each other since grade school. And, they just chat about their way different experiences in life, I guess.
Hey, did you respond to those comments at all? I can't remember.
Yeah. I said, sometimes I said, I have reptiles, Joe doesn't. And we're trying we're trying to, we talk business and try and figure out life. So that's where I put it. And then that's when he said, oh, another one of those. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Oh, come on.
I can't, look, the world, the internet's a big place. We're okay, man. It's we'll be all right.
I feel bad now.
No. What's that saying that everybody loves these days? Like both things can be true. He can have a speck of insight and still be a jerk, which jerk is a substitute for a whole lot of other words,
Maybe he's not a jerk. I don't know.
He might not be. And for all I know, he's watching in the audience because he's like, hey, that guy Adam replied to me. I'll give him another shot. Yes. And now he just called him a jerk.
Now we went from one. We got one less person.
Yeah. So let me do say this though. I see, and I got to say thank you because we got to strike while the iron's hot. Thanks to the audience. I see some of y'all from Tinley that maybe don't usually watch the show. So thanks for this morning. I hope that you'll like it. We're going to try a new tag on. This is Proper Cup of Joe, where I have reptiles
and I don't.
See there, Joe? I think we're on to it. I think it's getting there pretty quick.
Should we do like a back and forth like that? Like,
yeah.
Welcome to Proper Cup of Joe, where I don't have reptiles
and I do.
All right.
There we go. So we need just a little bow on the end. Thanks for joining us, or we'll figure it out together, or whoever had the last word, he's here to learn something new, or okay. All right. I think we're rolling here now. I think we're
okay. All right.
I think we're getting in there. All right. So what is other than this little hurricane thing that probably would be your one thing this week, but that's our whole segment. What's your other one thing? What else you got kicking?
I don't know how to get the dirt out of my nails. Does anybody have any tips on how to get dirt out of your nails?
Okay, Joe, you're 44-ish. Let's just spitball here. You made it through this far in life, and you've convinced really a pretty smart woman named Chelsea that you're, worth investing a pretty big portion of her life into a relationship with. Why do you have dirt under your fingernails, and why do you not know how to get it out? Use a brush. Use a nail brush.
I got a nail brush. It's not coming out. That's the only thing. So we've spent a lot of time cleaning up.
Is this cement that you have under your nails?
Sunken I don't know. There's still a few specks, and it's been a couple of days, and I've used the brush. I guess it's just eventually going to come.
Yeah, I mean, you could grow it out, but that's then you're gonna have.
I think that's what's happening.
You're gonna have fungus under there, man. You're gonna constantly be smelling your fingertips. You're like, what is that? It's always this. Yeah.
No, that's not really my one thing. I just keep getting distracted by my hands being dirty.
Well, so you are doing the fingernail smell thing. Hey, look, actually, this is now, see, Joe, this is why this show's good. We get the honest input. Go get a manicure. Go pay somebody to clean these things for you. That's the one time you should get a manicure, not when they're normally clean. Like when you need the professional's help, go get you a manicure, man.
Have you ever gotten a manicure?
I haven't, but I've heard nice things.
I've gotten a pedicure and I've really liked it.
You see it. There you go. I don't like.
I mean, it was 15 years ago, but
well, I see. It's been real. It's about time. I actually think I like this idea. I think you should go pay a professional to clean your nails for you.
Yes, this is the toughest part of my day.
Yeah,
it's a tough fingernail dirt.
Yeah, Joe is. I don't know if you guys know, Joe is. If we were to be washed on a desert island, Joe is who you want. Leading the charge of the survival skills.
Gliding along. I don't have any. I'm not dirty at all. No, that's not. I mean, I'm just getting distracted because I talk with my hands and I keep seeing my hands and they're still dirty. Let me ask you this: are you? So yes, there was a hurricane and we had a lot of cleanup and it was scary and everything. We'll talk about that. But do you lack certain tools that you should have? Like I have a chainsaw. A chainsaw.
Hang on, let me ask a question. Is it plug in? Does it plug in or does it pull start? You got a little two-stroke on there. What do you got?
It's not, it doesn't plug in and you don't have to pull a cord. You slide a little battery onto it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, actually I've heard the battery packs now are pretty powerful. Actually, those are okay.
So they're good. So it's good, but not to cut up large trees. It's just to bring down branches and stuff like that.
Right.
So
you're trimming versus felling, right? Would that be the verb?
And is there a threshold, like a certain certain things that you should own as a man living in the United States?
Well, let's go down the list. You got to have a good screw gun. Like I have a Makita. I'm a Makita guy. You spend the money, you get the good Makita. So that'll cover like 90% of what you need. Then you need some of your hand tools. You need the wire cutters. You need the wire stripper, a couple channel locks because sometimes you need 2 channel locks at once. You need a level. You gotta keep things straight.
There's a level. I got a level. What do you mean channel locks? What are you talking about? Pliers?
They're like plumbing pliers. The ones that at the top you can adjust them. Right. Yeah, you need 2 of those though, because sometimes you need 2 of those just to be aware.
Okay.
You need some needle nose. Then you need the large and the small, the flat and the Phillips tips, the hands.
Okay.
So you need that some torque. I don't know what other projects you got going on. I mean, those will get you pretty far.
So we had branches down. We had a big tree that fell down, and so I have this little chainsaw, and we're walking around. I'm walking around with Chelsea, around the neighborhood and observing the damage and stuff like that. And we come upon some neighbors and.
Wait, were you strolling with your chainsaw? Like you're going to go like good for the neighborhood? Like, guys, I got it. You need help?
No.
You're right there.
But so Chelsea, we know we have a huge tree down, and I know that my little chainsaw is not going to handle the tree. So and we see some of our neighbors, and they're like, do you have any damage? They're actually going around in a truck, and
Oh, they're the guys,
saying, yeah. And Chelsea's like, yeah, we have a tree down, but Joe just has a little chainsaw, so we don't know
calls
what
you
we're
out.
gonna do.
That's nice.
And they went, we have 3 large chainsaws. We will come over. And at first I was kind of like, oh, I should have a chainsaw. like a big chainsaw. But I don't know. I don't do this all the time. I'm not felling trees all the time. So at first I was kind of like, it doesn't. But then they came over. They were the best. That was the coolest thing. That was like, we're kind of bleeding into talking about but that was like my one thing.
Let it rip.
That first initial thing where it was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do about this tree. I got this tiny chainsaw. I don't know how I'm going to do it. And then Chelsea kind of stating that openly, and me feeling bad. And then like they're coming over. They not only came over, and these guys were so great. They helped me. They had the big chainsaws. They and then they brought over an excavator, and they ripped out the.
That's just a flex then. Like you can't be like, oh, let me go get my Bobcat now. Like, yeah, you don't have to have that in your garage. Don't feel bad about that. I should have an excavator. Yeah.
Well, what am I going to do without an excavator? I got to get an excavator now.
Yeah, they'd be fun. You could you imagine like strolling up to the local bar in one? You just drive that in. They know you mean business. So like, that dude, that's a man right there.
Yes, exactly. And that's exactly what I thought. And I was watching him just excavate the trunk, the stump. And I was like, wow, yeah, this is a manly dude. But he was much older than me, and he was like, yeah, these are just my big boy tools. He kept calling them, and big boy toys or something like that. And
that's where snakes come in handy, because if I ever feel like somebody's like out big boying me, I'll be like, yeah, you like pythons, bro?
So that's a question. Do you feel as though, is there something that you, I don't know, this is for the whole group, like, how does this change your persona, or how you like actually owning reptiles and owning snakes and dealing in snakes? How does it change your view of how you are in the world?
Well, I got this, like, now, I have a thing. Yeah. So before it was like killer guitars. Like, oh, you got your excavator? Yeah, I got a 76 Les Paul Deluxe. Boom, gold top right there through a big Fender tube amp. I can do it. But now you get to put a Python on top of that, and you're like, I got Pythons too. So it is always a really so like today, for example, this is a great example. A week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I sat in at this band's practice. There was a friend of a friend, and they're like, oh, come jam, we'll hang out. So I get there, and this dude has, like, he's like who I want to be when I grow up, man. He's got the house, he's got the separate building that is the music studio up top, cool cars underneath, blah, blah, blah. And it turns out he's a hog farmer. And he's like, so what do you do? You play some music, this and that? And I was like, yeah, I farm some pythons. He's like, really? And I was like, yeah. He's like, how many you got? And I'm like, about 200. He's like, I'd like to see that, man. He goes, I got a lot of hogs. You got a lot of pythons. I'm like, yeah, now we're men talking about what we do. This is good. And so today he and his family are coming over to check out the facility, the snakes in the
oh, really?
Yeah, okay. We're going to come by and hang out today, man.
So does it become, I just never thought of this, because I just thought it was, and it's an unusual hobby. And I don't mean unusual in a negative sense. I just mean it as,
it's factually unusual. Yeah. No, but it's a good conversation starter, and it sort of sets like the like, you know, I never know how it's going to go exactly, but you're like, here's what I do. You now know this about me. You know something. You might not know whether you like me or not, but Adam takes certain risks and goes after certain things. If you got 200 snakes in the basement,
I would. Yeah, and are you guarded about who, when, and how, and who you
yeah.
share this
The
information
farther
with?
away, the better. Out into the universe, I'll tell anybody. My next door neighbors, zero clue. No, they know nothing.
Okay, yeah. Because I would imagine that it's like somebody tells me that they own an excavator, or somebody tells me that they own snakes, 200 snakes. Uh, your immediate thing, if you don't know that person, you go, oh, you're that kind of person, or I mean, and so you want to be known as that kind of person in some respects, but also you don't want to be labeled as somebody who is so outside of this mainstream that you seem unrelatable.
Yeah, that's true. I see it as more of a intriguing conversation starter because inevitably somebody's going to
Yeah.
go, is that a business? Is that just you just do that? Does your wife put up with it? Do you make money with that? How did that start? Like
That's
instantly,
great.
we're gonna have yeah. Well, you know, I don't know if you know, but pound for pound, I'm a pretty bad man when it comes to flexing.
Flexing on the big guy.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah, he's a pig farmer. But I don't know anything about pig farming other than apparently it's a lucrative industry from what I've seen of this guy's lifestyle. Just on a small sample size of what I've concluded. So no, actually we got talking pretty intelligently because I told him, I said, I got to figure out, I want a different building and a different facility, but heating through the Minnesota winter is the challenge. And he was like, what temperature do you have to get to? And I was like, well, I need it 78 year round. He's like, the hogs, we keep it 58 year round. I was like, 58? That seems cold. And he's like, well, they produce a massive amount of heat. We're fighting to get down to 58. And it was funny because we both had this aha moment where we both, like, at the same time were like, we should exhaust the pig heat into the python room and let the pigs heat the pythons.
So
I don't know that I actually.
You're working on a pig python facility then.
No, we're just floating ideas out. But he's no, well, he does a lot of like commercial investing, and he knows people around town, and he deals with the town council and this and that. And I'm like, this is a good person to know. Because the other reason I don't really want the neighbors to know, other than just sort of general courtesy in case they're uncomfortable or whatever, is I don't want somebody to join the town council and go, that guy has a bunch of pythons and rats. You know, that's not what I want either. And as time goes on, it gets easier because I could say, clearly this hasn't been a problem. It hasn't bothered you for well over a year now. Clearly, yeah. I'm being responsible and I'm not a neighborhood menace. So time helps that, but I don't feel like having that battle.
Right. Yeah. I understand. My question was more about like your social positioning, not just like the practical aspects of actually living in a community with other people, but more about psychologically, you're socially positioning yourself. You seem just like a guy who's open and, you know, doesn't mind it. And I wonder about that moment when you share with someone new that you have 200 pythons in your basement, and what goes on in your brain as you observe this person taking that information.
Yeah. Well, so part of that's like the whole genesis of this show. Like every person that owns reptiles or ball pythons goes through this, where they're sitting at Thanksgiving dinner or you're out with your partner and, you know, you're watching the Bills game, eating some chicken wings, and you're hitting it off with some buddies they also want to jump through flaming tables for their fighting Josh Allen's. And they go, what do you do? And right there's a little fork in the road, because I can either say, well, I'm a hospitality consultant. That's boring. Or I could say, yeah, I breed ball pythons for a living and sell them at various marketplaces. And I have some YouTube shows, and I foster a bit of a community as a marketing ploy for my brand. And that, I mean, that'll fill the rest of the game with chatter.
But don't you go, and by the way, this is a Proper Cup of Joe where I don't have reptiles.
And I do. Okay,
and
we're getting
I
there.
ask questions about that.
You pointed the wrong way. You got to be the weatherman point. You got to, no, see, you went the wrong way. There you go. Yeah.
Hey, we're working on it. Usually I am on the left, by the way.
That's true. Oh yeah. I've thrown off the matrix here. There we go.
Well, now I start. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's where your test is. It's a pop test, pop quiz.
But do you ever worry about like leaving something like that and go and like you think about, whoever you talk to, they're sitting there going, how about the guy with the snakes,
Yeah, a little bit. So I have, I've worked very hard in life, literally, this is a true story, to get to a point where I genuinely don't care what other people think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
that's what I think about. Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes I take that too far, especially with Kelly. Because sometimes it's good to keep up a little bit of appearances, especially like family settings where the new people in the neighborhood, maybe we want to make friends in town. And it doesn't mean like, don't be yourself, but maybe be like, don't expose 100% of yourself just yet, but I'm more comfortable with that than Kelly is. I think she cringes sometimes. She's like, and here we go again. This is good. These are two more people that we won't be friends with in town. And I'm like, I don't care, because, and this is genuine. I used to really, really, really care. I used to really like, I went through the whole cycle that people do in high school. You want to be cool. You want to be the in crowd. You want this and that. And, it just was a constant failure. It was a constant, it never worked not being myself. And I finally was just like, you know what? My beard's going gray. I'm losing my hair. I'm who I am. I don't give a damn. And nearly immediately I meet the woman I fall in love with and marry and start, making some money playing music, breeding some ball pythons, all that good stuff,
That's nice. What a nice story. We do have some people that we want to acknowledge keeping this whole project going. Some of our sponsors here. You want to do that now, Adam?
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. And then we got to get we need to know that you're okay. And I did get a ground level report on the hurricane from Chelsea that I was going to share with folks as well.
Oh, okay.
Today. Yeah. I don't know if you're aware, but I did. And then we'll dive into Tinley real quick as well, which was a fantastic weekend, and maybe
I need to hear about that
next week. So, I want to say thanks to and really a heartfelt thanks to Cold Blooded Cafe. They are who I use for my frozen rodents, who I think you should use for your frozen rodents. Let me tell you a couple things. They raise all of their own rats, all of them in-house. They're all fed in Missouri. What's being fed to the prey that you're going to feed to your animals. And they're not being shipped in, frozen shipping containers across oceans. And they're not lab rats that you don't know what has been tested on them, which is kind of the big volume industry standard of frozen rodents. So that's the differentiating point of Cold Blooded Cafe. And this is a little bit crazy. Maybe it comes from all my years in the kitchen and working with food. When I open the bag of Cold Blooded Cafe rodents, they are much fresher than when I open the competitions. I promise you that. So check them out. Use the promo code PROPER11. You're going to get 11% off of your order. Also, Husbandry.pro, fantastic. Organize your data, track your animals. But what I've really found is that Husbandry.pro buys me time. It's time. Like, time is our most precious resource. I don't have to spend time flipping through my spreadsheets, trying to remember what this notation meant, what the clip on one side of the tag means versus the clip on the other part of the tub. You guys know we all do that. Husbandry Pro saves you that time. You want to look up the follicle size, boom, you got it. You want to work on a breeding plan and you don't need 9 diagrams of spreadsheets, you got it. So check it out. You go to properroyals.com and there's a banner right there. You could click that and you're going to get a discount 60 days for free with Husbandry Pro. Check it out. Properroyals.com is also powered by Husbandry Pro. Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. That is Charlie Ryan up in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, working with singles, doubles, triples, quads for amazing projects like Krypton, Puzzle, Clown, DG, all kinds of cool animals. Go check out what he's got. Most of the hatchlings are out right now. Morph Market is up to date. And you should seriously, like, there's very few people that I've trusted to take the helm as a guest host on the show. It's because of his level of commitment to his animals, his family, his facility, and his knowledge. So I absolutely trust Charlie. Give him a shot. Go check it out. That's Reagan Renee Royal Pythons. All the links are down below. Last but not least is Keith out in Fresno, California at Kreative Genetics. Keith and I have been working on a breeding project with Clown, a Xanthic male, going into several other projects. We've got triple hets available. We've got some double hets available. We've got some combos available. Hit me up if you're interested in any of those. And then go check out Kreative Genetics as well. Keith just hit some really cool highway and gravel stuff, as well as he's working with Stranger and Dark Genes and singles, doubles, and triples as well. So thank you guys for keeping the lights on, keeping the machine moving. Joe, you get a little monthly wine money from it, huh?
Actually, I took advantage of that last night.
And there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, I got one more.
Probably see the red on my teeth still.
That's only the good kind. You know what I'm saying? So I got one new thing, Joe. It's a little bit of a new initiative. It's not a sponsor, but it's maybe an adopted initiative that really was special to me, and I do want to tell the audience about it as well. Those of you all in the industry, you probably know that Dr. Tom Harbin died this past year in a tragic accident scuba diving, and aside from that tragedy, and aside from what the family must be going through and all of that, the industry lost a really good person and a really good name and a really good figure and a person that really advanced our cause and the image of our cause and all of that. Great face. So he was a veterinary doctor. There's been a scholarship at Auburn University set up in his name. It's an endowment. It's an enduring scholarship. You can contribute to that. And what happens is in an endowment is that there's the initial money that's donated, contributed, however that money is gotten. And only the dividends, and a certain percentage of them, are distributed in the form of scholarships, so that core money, that seed money, will always grow and always endure. And it's for veterinary medicine students that are pursuing their degree in vet medicine at Auburn University. That link is down below, and I would encourage you to contribute. It would be tax deductible. You can get receipts, all of that stuff, and it is managed by a third-party company. It's not the Harbins doling out the money. So all of this is properly done, properly set up, and this scholarship will endure in perpetuity. So that's down below. $1, $5, $100, $5,000, whatever you got, put it in there. What a great legacy, man. I think that's real cool.
Excellent. That's great. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm in love with that idea, man. I've decided, like, when my time comes and I'm off to the big sandbox in the sky, man, that'd be a pretty cool legacy to have behind. So maybe that'll happen one day.
This is the thing that I really like about being introduced to you all, is that, like, we talk like, oh, sometimes we call it an industry, but this is like it's more of a community. It's definitely more of a community, and it seems like there's more collegiality here than anything. I mean, there's healthy competition, I'm sure.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There's people who really work hard against each other.
Yep.
But this is more about, there is this idea, or it seems like there's this idea that we're all in this together as well, and we need to help each other out, especially when we lose somebody who's such an advocate for us.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a couple layers of, like, there's the tragedy, the sadness, if you knew him personally, if you're part of his family. Then there's the, like, philosophical, damn, he was one of the good guys. Like, I never met him in person, but you say Tom Harbin, everybody knows who you're talking about. And I know his
Yeah.
face. I knew exactly who it was. Like if I'd seen him, I'd know him a mile away. And so there's that philosophical part of it. And then, like you say, there's that bigger camaraderie of like, hey, wait a minute, that's a really good cause. Like that's not just, hooking up a buddy, whatever. You should always hook up your buddies if they need, if they need dinner or something like that. But I'm just saying, like, there's so many good causes, and it can get weird figuring out what to support and whatnot. And anyhow, I will never knock anybody for what they support, but that one really spoke to me, and the Harbins have really helped me out. His son Josh and daughter-in-law Alicia. She's been a consulting vet for me for quite some time now, and really has helped me in incredible ways. So I was really, really happy when I heard. I was like, you know what? A, I contributed. B, I was like, you know what? It doesn't cost me a penny. I could put this out there, and I got a cool little space that maybe we can spread some word on that. So those links are down below, and they'll always be down in the description. You can always click on that, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me hear a little bit about Tinley.
So and I know you haven't been, Joe. Now you have been to Daytona, so you get a little bit of an idea of the feel. So Tinley is like Daytona, but it's really compacted. I don't know if you noticed at Daytona, you probably didn't think about it because you didn't have a frame of reference to compare it to. But in Daytona, there's pretty nice wide aisles. There's space to walk, space to mingle. Take all that and put it in about half the space. And like, I don't throw around a whole lot of physical weight. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I had trouble getting through the aisles and the people because it's so much packed into. It's still a massive space, but it's so much packed into that space. So it's the first thing is you feel like you are just like in the middle of something big going on. So it was for me, it was very good. And I say it's all relative. So compared to the sales that I heard other people had, I did nothing. But on my projections, I usually project what I think I can do at each show and make some decisions based on that. And you always want to get more and more accurate with your projections. It helps with business decisions. So at Tinley, I always put 0. I don't. The problem with Tinley for me is how am I going to compete when 9 different Mount Rushmores are in the room that I'm competing against. So I see it as an opportunity to visit, spend time with all the business partners. Like I got to see and spend time with Cold Blooded Cafe, Robert from Husbandry.pro, Robin from Redline Shipping was there, and Charlie ShedTesting.com. All those people that keep the lights on. Then all the community, the camaraderie, dinner, hanging out, people in the audience. About half the people in the audience were there, meeting new people. So that is all the value of Tinley for me. But surprise, surprise, I did my little I called it the Race to the Bottom special pricing event, and kicked that off at noon on Saturday, and that actually went pretty well, man. I sold animals. I sold 7 animals, so I had decent sales for.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, for what I expect. Actually made a little bit of money on top of the marketing and all of that, so it went well. I enjoyed it. It was good, man.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, you've always said this is more of like an industry show, right? It's
a trade show mentality versus a big revenue mentality for me, but maybe I can graduate to it becoming both is really
I mean, 7 animals, it's terrific.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. Now, I also heard at the way of the other end of the spectrum of one in particular pretty well-known breeder that cracked $35,000 this weekend. So big dreams, I mean, and I'm the kind of guy that goes, well, if he figured it out, I'll figure it out. And he's been at it 30 years. Give me 30 years. I bet I could crack that. I might not be alive, but that's what I think I can, I think with time and sticking with it enough, I do it.
I always thought that as well, there's huge at Daytona. There was huge, people had multiple tables spread out for, one vendor.
Right.
And then you had one table, but I always thought yours looked really slick. It was
Thank you, man.
It was really well put together. and you always seem like you're trying to make it better. What's the best way to put this table together?
Yeah.
And it's really attractive. Actually, it's good. You got
Thank you, man.
it seemed like there's the right colors and everything. And like
I got
sometimes I go,
some new lights for Tinley too. I got
really?
new spotlights behind me. Yeah. So I got spotlights going up the banner. They're like stage lights, the LEDs that you could program
See?
and whatnot. Yeah,
That's
I
what
am.
so,
I'm
like,
always like tweaking. Yeah.
there's a lot of thought that you put into that kind of thing, and that I think is like, even that, like, if people go around and go, oh, proper royals, it's really, and I don't mean slick is in terms of, like, I mean slick as a positive.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It looks
Nothing
like it
underhanded. Yeah.
just, yeah, and like even that, like people can learn from that, and that maybe that's where you're like contributing to growing the way things are perceived or the way things are presented or something like that. I bet you just learn so much by getting together with everybody, just learning.
It is a gold mine of, I use all sorts of analogies, but if you're into music and you're into rock and roll, it'd be like walking into the bar and the Stones are over there and Led Zeppelin's there, and you could just be like, guys, can I get you a Heineken? And they're like, yeah, come on over. And it's amazing, man. So yeah, you get to see, I mean, literally, if you made a list of like the top 10 people in the industry, 9 of them were there. And actually, I don't even know who the 10, maybe the one guy that wasn't, but so rare, but they're there. And, you can't just like commandeer people's time, but, there's an art to listening. There's an art to getting into the conversation where you should and where you shouldn't. But I like, there's a expression that says, and this is across many cultures, all the wise men and women in various cultures say this, you can learn more when you shut up. If you speak, you only can speak what you already know. But if you listen, you'll learn something new, essentially, is the mentality. So I like listening and hanging out, man. It's incredible what you can learn out there.
That must be, it just must be a great time. Maybe one of these years I'll make it up there.
I think Blake is the name, but Python Prince. Yeah, the problem with Tinley is that it's so packed. Like you're literally rubbing shoulders. People bring these gigantic, stupid strollers with like, look, I get it that we got to have a place for kids and all of that, but like, man, navigating a stroller through Tinley, even for your own peace of mind, like, forget my opinions of whether you should have a stroller or not. For yourself, you don't want to struggle with pushing a stroller through the crowd and all of that. There are times that has a bit of a music festival feel. I felt the audience, I thought the room smelled a little better this time. I think there's there's a big push in the community for some hygienic products from time to time. And I think it's taken hold slowly but surely. I think we're getting there.
There's 2 Tinleys a year, right?
That's correct. Yeah. Next will be in March. Yep.
So the last one you went to it was kind of stinky.
No, I'm not saying Tinley is stinky. I'm saying in general, usually you get so many people in a room and so many animals. And then if you get a few bad apples in there that just don't, wash or take a shower or whatever,
I understand.
It can get a little much, So.
Now let me ask you this: you have you go to one of
it's funny. People check this out, Joe. Yeah, people actually, they're like, "Yep, this one smelled pretty good." Like we grade the show. Let's see, attendance, sales, smell in that order, man. Like that's what you got.
Attendance, smell. So let's say you go like our friend Troy did, and you sell 20 steaks. I mean, 20 steaks. I don't know how many snakes exactly Balls and Strikes has, but 20 steaks, that's for, let's say you go and you sell 20 snakes at them. That's and you have 200 total. That's 10% of what you've got. Does that ever worry you or bother you? Like that there's a 10% of your inventory is now gone. Now you're enjoying the inflow of revenue, right? But do you ever worry about like, okay, well now I have a depleted team. that is going to produce different things.
Yeah. So I don't want to speak for Troy. My mindset is there's a couple things. First, take the money. If it's on the table and it's what you're asking, you take the money. Now, to your point, some people, and I'm not, this is not about Troy, this is just in general. Some people, they might only vend 4 shows a year. They might only vend Daytona and Tinley. So at that point, you're going, I'm going to make the deals. I don't want to take these animals back to the facility. Even if I have to sell them at 75 cents on the dollar, that's pretty good. And I don't have to feed them for another 6 months until the next show comes around.
Yeah.
That and you don't go through the headache of trying to sell them on Morph Market, having to drive to FedEx, blah, 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 all those added things. Boom, it's here now. You can do it. And you get the, what do they call it? The opportunity cost of, or the opportunity value of having the cash. You can put the cash to work right away. There's all those good things. Me, on the other hand, I have this weekend, I have 2 shows. I have one in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and one in Hastings, Minnesota. So I want to sell and I want to take the money, but I might not go down to 75 cents on the dollar. I might only go to 90 cents on the dollar negotiating, because I know I have a show coming up next week. So there's that thought. The 200 number that you cited, that's a spitball number, but it's also a dynamic number. So I have 200 snakes, but I have 30 eggs in the incubator. So I might sell 30 now or 20 this week. But if I got 30 coming in 2 weeks, no problem. And I still have an inventory of, the other 50, 60 to sell. And you're using Troy as an example from that number. I'm going to go off the top of my head. I think Troy runs about 8 displays. 8 displays full would be about 120 animals per sale. So Troy's got a bigger operation than I'm running on displays. My displays, I brought about 60 animals. So Troy's got 14 of 17 shows vending. Dennis sold 16. Great numbers, guys. Jeez. That's fantastic, because even Troy said he took 56. Okay, so less, so probably 4 displays worth rather than 8. Okay. The big show, national show, Troy says 20 was a record for him. So these are all good things, because what's that?
And then of course you have a plan, like we've talked about this before. You have a plan that's like years out of the kinds of snakes that you want to breed. So
you have to, absolutely.
So you're not, is there a threshold where you go, well, I've got this snake that I'm going to use in that plan, but are you open to vend that snake? Are you open to sell that snake, or are you holding on to that snake even though it might capture you a few $1,000s?
Oh, no. You, Kai was in the audience earlier. Lucas Landon Rose. He was on my show a long time ago and was one of the first people to come on the show. It was really great. He said, and I have to give credit because it's such a great example. He says the female breeders are long-term employees that you build a relationship with. You want to make sure they're happy, living productive lives in your business, in your operation. The males, they're independent contractors. Get the job done. Thank you very much. See you later. So they're like for example, I have it's a tower. It's a display tower, but it's a bigger display and it's for larger animals. So that's a 6-animal tower that I have. 5 of them that were in there were breeder males, and then I had 1 female that was. So you sell. Yeah, when you're done with those and you've exceeded the genetic value, like once you produce an animal that exceeds that parent's breeder genetic value, you're done with that parent. That's you let them, or maybe it's a backup, but basically they move to a different part of your operation at that.
No. I see. Kreative Reptiles is making me laugh this morning.
Elias is on fire, right? Yeah. The only thing I sell at Tinley is my soul. Yeah, you're telling me I've sold my soul.
I don't understand that.
Have you ever done something questionable in life for something you really want? You don't have to answer out loud, but that might be you might be applicable.
Okay. Oh man.
What's up, Sam? So Joe, tell me, we got a few minutes here, and we talked a little bit about the hurricane. We were joking about manly men with chainsaws and all that, but all joking aside, Tampa got screwed up pretty good. What was your experience going? Had you been through a storm like that before, or did it affect you?
I mean,
what do you think?
I've been in the area since 2011, so 13 years. 2012, so 12 years. This was the scariest, the most direct hit that I've ever experienced here. So yeah, it was nutty. It was really nutty. I mean, things really shut down. They shut down, and it's hard to find gas. It's all that stuff, So that was one thing, was like preserving gas, and I don't have a generator. That's another thing. Like, we saw somebody at the grocery store beforehand, like a neighbor of ours, and they were like, "So are you shuttering your windows?" And we were like, "No, we're not doing that." And then he goes, "Okay, do you have a generator?" "No, we don't have a generator." And again, so a lot of this experience just exposed certain inadequacies of mine that maybe I should get a generator, and we've got to figure out a way to put
I'll tell you,
on our windows.
I love having the generator. Now the shutters, that's a little tougher. We always just went for the plywood. Just deal with it. New screw holes in the stucco, but the plywood's going on. But the generator life is nice though. You feel like a king when you have no power and you're like, oh, let me fix this. I'll be right back. And you fire up the internet, you fire up the refrigerator, and you got your TV. Those are the things you need for the generator.
But also getting through the hurricane has made me go, well, because we didn't have any damage to the windows, no damage to the house. Very fortunate. We put a roof on 2 years ago, so our roof was really, well done, and no shingles came off or anything. I mean, so the biggest thing was just our yard. We had a tree fall down. It fell in the right direction, but even if it fell towards the house, it wouldn't have hit the house.
Okay. So, all right.
So I mean, I've had a burn pile going since Sunday. So
you have a burn pile going? That's pretty manly. That's cool. There you go. You're just out checking on your burn pile out there. That's probably why I didn't get back.
I guess is that my flex? That's my manly flex.
You're like
a burn pile.
Yeah, you should stroll down the street and be like, guys, I got a burn. If you need to bring your stuff, I got a burn pile over there. They'd be like, Joe, he probably has big chainsaw. Like, if you got a burn pile, you probably have big chainsaws.
We lost power for a few days, we managed that. We had prepared for that. And, but just that night that it hit was, you don't know what's going to happen. You just don't know. You don't know if your house is going to fall down, the roof is going to come off. Where we're north of Tampa, but one of the bands that came through had tornadoes.
That was the big thing. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So we were, it was a scary night for sure. And then
can I share the description?
Yeah, sure.
A little glimpse of reality here. So, Joe's partner Chelsea and I have been friends since we were like 14 in ninth grade. Hillsborough High School, the Fighting Terriers, right? Is that the Hillsborough or the Bulldogs? What were they?
I don't know.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Clearly, I was in the know on that stuff. I said, Joe let me know that you guys were all right. Did it get rough? And she says, we survived. Damn, that was wild. And then Chelsea says, it was intense. The doors were swelling and contracting. Howling wind, definitely scary. The house made so many noises I've never heard before. And I sent some laughing emojis and I said, wait, doors swelling and contracting was the first of your list of hurricane scary shit? And then she clarified that this actually does sound pretty scary. She goes, well, they were expanding and contracting right next to my head while I laid in the pitch black darkness. I kept thinking they were going to blow open like the Wizard of Oz. And I was like, Actually, that sounds pretty damn scary. If that's
Yeah,
what's going through your mind.
we have our house was built by somebody who was he built houses. So he built his own house, and then what happened
Wait. All right. Our house is built by a guy who builds houses. Good. That's step one. That's what you want in a
no, I mean the first owner of the house built that.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So there's a lot of weird things, but like he built it for his family, and then I think the story is he got a divorce, and it was partially done. So there's some weird things about our house that like is unfinished, and so one of them is
you have like a safe side and a non-safe side. You're like, all right, this is where they were in a healthy marriage, and over there
we don't want to be.
Yeah, we don't want to be over there during the hurricane.
We gotta move to the healthy side of the house during a hurricane. So we have these doors like to the outside, exterior doors in our bedroom to our outside patio, and I think that's what she was talking about. And yes, they were. She's on that side too, so they're going back and forth. And yeah, the noises the house made. It's a cinder block house too, so you just don't expect to hear that much creaking in a cinder block house.
So you have a cinder block construction. You have a block construction house there, huh?
Yeah.
Now that gives you that's what you need against the hurricane. That's the real flex right there. Yeah. To this day, I don't understand why they build wood frames and particle board, the glued board construction that I still see going up in Florida. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think we do have a good hurricane safe house. It's just, we were really worried about the trees. We have a bunch of trees, and actually the tree that's closest to our house is our neighbor's. So we were really worried about our neighbor's tree falling into the house, but that didn't happen. I feel very fortunate. Now, the weird thing that happened a few days later is that all of the runoff went into the Cypress Creek Preserve and some of the rivers around where the storm drains, they drain into this preserve and these rivers, right? Yeah. So if they flood from runoff, it goes back up into the storm drains. Right. And then it floods neighborhoods with storm drains. Now, we didn't experience that, but all around us as well, like our neighbors and stuff in these more populated neighborhoods, they experienced flooding 3 days later.
I see. Yeah. Look, we've been making light of this. You talked to Joe earlier about a little bit of, community and looking out for each other. A couple other highlights from the weekend. The U.S. Ark auction raised over $100,000 at Tinley. Shane at Small Town Exotics and Jessica Hare at the Hold Back Rack podcast put on an auction for Jeannie and Jeremy Bod, who are in St. Petersburg, got walloped by both storms. You talk about flooding, water in the house. 2 times over. Their auction raised over $12,000 for Jeannie and Jeremy there. And I know there's countless people that need help. So guys, if you see somebody in that area that was stricken by that and you think you want to buy their animal, make the sale, figure it out, give them a couple bucks, throw in a little bit extra, haggle a little bit less. Both from an advertisement, but also a camaraderie standpoint as well. Redline Shipping handled all the shipping expenses for that auction as well. Shipped all the animals for free that were sold to raise the money for Jeremy and Jeannie Bod. So, and I shouldn't say shipped them for free. That makes it sound like they paid the FedEx shipping, which is never free. Redline ate all of that. So good on Redline Shipping as well. You got exciting stuff this week, Joe? More chainsawing and burning to do? What do you got?
Yeah, there's still some things that I need to clean up yet because I had to go back to work and, make sure that everything is okay there and you get back to work. So there's still some things that I need to do. I got, games that I'm going to and stuff like that for Aiden and stuff. So not as exciting of a weekend, but it'll be fun. How about you?
Well, I would think a little bit of normalcy would be pretty nice for you these days. So enjoy a game here and there, a beer there, and may the power stay on and the gas be with you. That's what.
Thanks, man, and thanks for everybody. Thanks for having good thoughts for me last week. I really appreciate everybody. And I was in the middle of the storm. As well, it had subsided by 7:30 my time last week, but I didn't have any power, so I couldn't join. So and I missed it. So thanks for good thoughts.
Yeah, big thanks to Chris for stepping up. We had a fun episode. If you want a little different flavor from a little different flavor in your cup of Joe, check out that episode. Oh, Charlie, I didn't know that. Charlie covered shed testing on those auction animals as well. Very cool, Jason. Thank you, man. Yeah, I did not realize that. That is good. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention there is still a GoFundMe for the Bods if they've helped you in this community. $5-10 still a lot. If everybody could help out a little bit, it goes a long way. So do what you can for the cause that speaks to you, but there's a lot of good stuff happening out there. Joe, I'll be vending this weekend in La Crosse, Wisconsin at the Scaled Up Expo show. And then on Sunday, I'll be vending in Hastings, Minnesota at the Snake Discovery show, which is pretty cool. And next weekend, I go to Fargo, North Dakota, man. You ever been to Fargo, Joe?
No, never.
I wish you had, because then I could call you Fargo Joe, but you haven't. So we'll have to.
Have you been?
Figure this out. But yeah, I'm going to go check out Fargo. No, never. First time. It'll be first time to North Dakota and first time to Fargo.
That's fun, man. I'm looking forward to hearing.
We'll see. Well, it'll be fun. All right. Yeah, definitely. So, well, that'll be 2 shows later. We'll do next week regular show. So, audience, thanks for hanging out. This has been Proper Cup of Joe, where he doesn't have reptiles.
And he does.
Joe, this is where I teed it up, man. And he does. There you go.
There's a delay. There's a delay right now between you and me.
Yeah, I think it's on me too, of course, which is probably a sign that we have to get out of here. Thanks, guys. Have a great week. Joe, take care. Send my best to Chelsea, and we'll do the same thing next time, man.
All right. Take it easy.